Hello? I just want to talk about something. I don't know, I don't think anyone's gonna see this, but like, I don't know, in case someone feels the same way. Because I always felt so alone when I was younger, and I felt like no one else felt like I did, and I was just the weird one out, and then I found out it's a lot more common to feel how I felt as a kid. Like, I'm painting right now. I started painting a little bit ago, and I think it looks cute. I love glitter. I'm painting with this, like, glittery shit. If I could, I'd put this shit on my eyeballs. But, low-key growing up in a house full of conflict and anger and abuse, like, really, really fucks you up. And then, especially if you grow up suicidal as fuck, like, I don't think it was intentional at all from my parents, but sometimes it, I don't know, with the way, like, my dad, I love my dad, he's my dad at the end of the day, and I kind of relate to him a bit more than my mom, but also, like, at the end of the day, he abused the fuck out of my mom for 10 plus years, starting from when I was born, pretty much. Both my parents were teenagers when they had me, and my dad was deployed shortly after, but I was used as a manipulation tactic for my mom to stay with him, and I found that out pretty young. I don't know, my parents, they talk all this shit, but, like, you wonder why everyone knows your business when you talk as loud as fucking possible. Volume control is a thing. And then I get yelled at about being either too quiet or too loud, but okay, right. It's only bad when I do it, guys. My bad chat. But, like, I found out pretty young my birth was used as a way to keep my mom with my dad. And that, I know it's not my fault, but sometimes it still feels like it is. And so I grew up pretty little feeling worthless, and like I was this evil person, like I was born just to be like I was born horrible, and I was going to be a horrible person for the rest of my life, so there was no point in living, and there was no future for me, because all I was going to be was this horrible person who got my mom stuck in an abusive relationship with my dad, and it's not my fault he abused her. It's not her fault either. The only person who was at fault was my dad. And, like, my dad was abused as a kid too. He struggled a lot growing up, but that also, just because you were abused doesn't give you a fucking reason to hurt other people. Like, But, so, from, like, the age of 6, now I'm 16, for, like, 10 years, I felt, like, suicidal as fuck, and, like, even now, the way I don't deal with conflict well, I don't deal with anger well, and I'm very quick to anger. I turn it back on myself because I don't want to be like my parents and inflict it on others, and then at a point, I just end up hurting myself and everyone around me instead. And I want to fix it, but I just go straight back to what I was doing before. But, I don't know, like, my whole family's got, like, issues like that. And I don't live with my mom anymore, I live with my grandma now. Which I count my grandma, when I say my parents, I'm usually talking about my mom and my grandma. Because my dad's kind of in the picture, but he's like a trucker, so we don't really see him. Also, why would he live with us anymore at this point? Like, I wouldn't want him to be around either. Like, I understand why my mom does not fuck with him, because I wouldn't either. but he's my dad, and I still kind of want to see him and wish he was proud of me, but, like, I see my mom, I don't really text her often. My phone. We don't talk about it. I hopped out my window one night and that shit got busted and it was completely fine until like 2 months later. This bitch fucking. Anyways, but like, so I can't really text my mom and she never has me come home. She lives 30 miles away from me, and works in town, but like, I don't know. She never tells me to come home, and she's like, "Why do you never come home?" Like, whenever they're like, "Well, we will be doing stuff and hanging out and having fun," but whenever I come home, all it is her going to her boyfriend's house and shit like that. Like, okay, right. So I came here for what? Because we're not spending any time together. And it's like, why would I want to spend time with her? Because we fight every time we see each other, talk to each other. I don't know why I say fight, because she's the one who calls it a fight. She's like, I don't want to fight every time I see you. But every time I see her, it's just her screaming at me and berating me and over shit like my hair, or I was stretching my ears, and literally my ears get infected with normal jewelry. Unless they're stretched, they get infected with normal jewelry. So now I'm gonna have to start re-stretching again later because she stole my jewelry. It's like, if I regret it, that's my fault. Or if I cut all my hair off, that's my fault, and I'm not gonna be mad because I did it to myself, and I know that. But it's just over these little things, but then she's like, I don't want to fight with you, and it's never a fight. It's really never been a fight. I never stand up for myself. I just sit there and take it, and occasionally be like, yeah, like with a bit of an attitude because I'm pissed off and I'm upset about being, berated. And so I talk about with like my grandma or my dad, but then it just turns into them shitting on my mom. And it's like, yeah, she does shitty things, but like, okay, like, it's just like, my dad shits on my mom, my grandma shits on my mom with him, but also shits on my dad. My mom shits on my grandma and my dad. It's this big old circle. My dad's pretty chill with my grandma, but I also don't like that because my grandma's pretty chill with him and kind of wants him and my mom back together because he wants to get back with my mom, but it's like, and they're like, well, she needs to get over what happened. It happened forever ago. No. Like, I don't like shit like that. I'm not over it, and I wasn't even the one being mainly abused. Like, my dad would occasionally hit me too. Not that often, but he would scream at me or, like, say shit like he wanted me dead and stuff. And I'm, like, out of my sisters, I'm, like, the only one who can kind of remember the shit that happened. So it's just, like, I feel so alone on that part, but I don't know, like, it pisses me off. Like, I can't talk to anybody, any of the parents or adults in my life, because in the end, they're just gonna start trashing on each other, and they talk shit about me behind my back. Like, I should have to be hearing from my little sisters how I somehow always come up as the failure or whatever. And I talked to my dad about, my mom getting pissed about my hair and shit, and he's like, well, it's because, like, she views you as a failure. Thanks. I knew that. Lovely hearing it from my father. Or, like, I try and, like, talk about, they're like, well, why don't you tell us how you really feel? Because when I do, and when I explain how I've always been suicidal, and I don't even know if I'm gonna have a future, because I can't trust myself to survive, I get told from my dad, well, I fucking hate people who are like, oh, I want to kill myself so bad, because they never do it. You know how many suicide notes I've been in? Like, I'm really sorry for your losses, but, like, why are you projecting that onto me and my experience? And I I legit said to him, I was so pissed off. I was like sobbing and stuff, and I was like, well, if I had a fucking gun, I would have done it. Which, a bit out of line, but like, I don't know, it's just like, there's somehow always a conflict happening, and I'm always a subject to it between them, between full-grown adults. And it just makes me feel worse in the end of the day. Like, when they try and comfort me, it's never comfort. It's just them being like, well, it's really not that bad, or you need a lot of fucking, not a lot of, like, on that line, like, it's like, I try and explain to them, like, shit I like and stuff, or, like, I really like bugs. I kind of want to go into entomology, so I have some, like, a beetle I found that was already dead, and it's in a jar. My mom literally said I don't need all that, like, that's weird, and my grandma knows I have them, and she's fine with it as long as they're not living. They're dead. But, like, generally, like, no one gives a shit about what I care about until it benefits them or makes them look good, or, like, what's the word? Validates them as being a good parent. Like, great to know I mattered, and you're great to know my achievements and things that make me happy are obsolete to you. I love that, but I should be used to it by now. But it's also like, is it really that fucking hard to, like, care about what your kid cares about and maybe express a little pride in them? I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm not a parent. I'm not an adult. I don't know. But I really don't think it is. I don't. But what do I know? I'm just a kid. My brain is... I don't even have a brain. Your brain doesn't develop till you're 21, by the way, guys. Or 18. I don't know. Whatever age you considered to be an adult. 25? I don't know. Yeah, guys. Basically no brain in here. It's all gone. There's... Nothing was ever there in the first place. But... my painting. I'm finished. Oh, never mind. We have to wait for the glitter to dry, but... Bye!